Message of the day. Solitude. Solitude. So, to keep this concise, what is the difference between solitude and loneliness? A couple years ago, when my mom transitioned, she passed away, and I started going into the woods, and it actually stemmed from lack, meaning I seen the totality of the world around me, and I knew I cannot be dependent, or else that would lead to my demise. You know, my mom, she had a lot of, she was taking a lot of pharmaceutical prescription drugs, and long story short, I went down that rabbit hole and just learned the extent of that. So I knew I needed to learn the abundance around me. I needed to go to the source. I knew that, these pharmaceuticals came from plants, but the pharmaceuticals were the middleman. So I had to cut that off and go to the source. So I started learning about herbs, certain trees, certain fruits, native to where I'm at. And so I started going into the woods, and I started to just sit and listen to the rhythms of life. And I lost myself, because when you're in the woods, there is no self, because you have to be cognizant. You gotta be conscious. You gotta be aware of the environment around you. You can't just go in the woods and, be stuck in your head. You could walk across anything. So you have to be aware, so you step outside of yourself. And so I started doing that. And what I learned is I found myself, or rather I created myself. I created myself, and I let go of myself. And so through this process, it's been an evolving, continual investment of refinement, continually. And so I wanted to share with you guys from this book that I'm reading. It's called Letters to My Son. Great book. He just talks about certain aspects of life and his experience, and I believe this was for his son, giving his son almost like a manual to life of his perspective. And nothing's set in stone. Again, he's just giving his perspective. So what I want to share with you guys is a little mini chapter that he talks about solitude and loneliness. Loneliness and solitude. You should spend time alone. And I don't just mean minutes and hours, but days. And if the opportunity presents itself, weeks. Time spent alone returns you to 100-fold, because it is the proven ground of the spirit. You quickly find out if you are at peace with yourself, or if the meaning of your life is found only in the superficial affairs of the day. And if it is in the superficial affairs of the day, the time spent alone will throw you back upon yourself in a way that will make you grow in wisdom and inner strength. This is no small discovery. We can easily fill our days with activity. We buy, we sell, we move, we do this and that. There's always more to be done. There's always a way to keep you from staring into the pool where life is beyond the chatter of small affairs of the mind. If we are not careful, we begin to mistake this activity for meaning. We turn our lives into a series of tasks that can occupy all the hours of the clock. that still leave us breathless with our sense of work left undone. Now and always, there will always be work undone. We will die with work undone. Let that sink in. There will always be more to do. Oh my gosh. Always. Now, I don't think that means don't strive. It's balance. Balance. Now, there is no sense in trying to defeat the labors of life. They are endless. Better that you should accept the rhythms of life and know that there are times when you need to stop and draw a breath and listen to the birds sing, the grass whistle around you, the insects chatter. It's so much around you. You gotta just stop sometimes and breathe. Now, though this may sound mystical and abstract, the universe has an eternal hum that runs beyond our individual birth and death. It is a hum that is hard to hear through the louder and closer noise of our daily lives. It is the unity that transcends us all and, as much as possible, reconciles us to the reality and the inevitability of our deaths. It makes us a part of something larger. This knowledge can only be experienced fully in the vast intimacy of solitude. Solitude. For many people, solitude is just a poet's word for being alone, but being alone is in itself nothing. It can be a breeding ground of loneliness as easily as a breeding ground of solitude. Solitude is a condition of peace that stands in direct opposition to loneliness. Loneliness is like sitting in an empty room and being aware of the space around you. It is a condition of separateness. Solitude is becoming one with the space around you. It is a condition of union. Loneliness is a condition of separateness. Solitude is a condition of union. Loneliness is a condition of separateness. Loneliness is small, solitude is large. Loneliness closes in around you. Solitude expands you toward the infinite. Loneliness has its roots in words in an internal conversation that nobody answers. Solitude has its roots in the great silence of eternity. Most people fear being alone because they understand only loneliness. They feel that unless the world represents or presents them with a mirror in the form of another person responded to them, they are close to annihilation. Without their own reflection, they become afraid, even frantic. The world is comfortable to them only as long as they are the center of their understanding. When they are alone, nothing ratifies their existence because no one responds to them. Solitude is about being at peace with the fabric of existence. It is about getting the I out of the center of your thoughts so that other parts of your life can be experienced in their fullness. All this takes place in the still, clear space where we cease to think in words and our hopes and memories cease to define the limits of our thoughts. Some people are closer to this space than others. Some have already found it through their hours of revere in their childhood. Others have discovered it through their enforced loneliness and somehow burst forth into a sunshine of understanding. Others have spent their lives in a frantic activity and have never known its existence. But we all can reach it. We just need to carve ourselves the space and time when we can get into this space. Now, I'm not going to read the whole chapter because it kind of goes on for a while. But I feel like solitude is union with yourself, with the space around you, the birds, the environments, whatever it is, this vast sweet gumball tree. Oh my gosh, it's so much. It's so much, and I'm so appreciative for the experiences, the opportunities, that have been given to us. You know, one of the most bleakest parts of my life has turned into one of the most brightest. I don't know if I would be where I'm at today had the experience of my mom passing on not had happened. It was the catalyst in so many ways for growth. So I ask you, what are your opportunities right now? Do you have some bleak moments in your life? Let them be the catalyst for your growth. Step into them. Step into a place where you can have solitude with yourself. No distractions. Only oneness. Only union. It's a process continually. But I promise you, once you step or drink, once you drink from the well of solitude, never again will you have a lonely moment in your life. Never.